Hi, welcome to Conducting a Literature Search, then exporting it into an evidence table. My name is Mady Stovall, and I'm a PhD student here at the OHSU School of Nursing. I'm also a writing coach in the Office of Learning Support. So the intention of this presentation is to help you get started performing a literature search using many of the tools available through our electronic databases. So let's get started. First off, you have to cultivate a spirit of inquiry anytime you're doing research. You need to ask questions in PICO formats, and we'll talk more about that. Search for the best evidence, critically appraise the evidence, integrate the evidence with clinical expertise and patient preferences and values, evaluate outcomes of the practice decisions or changes based on the evidence, and disseminate those evidence-based practice results. So selecting electronic databases is your first step, and you'll find that we have a huge variety available to us in the popular resources on the homepage of our OHSU library. You can also find many, many more available through selecting browsing all databases. One of the most common questions I'm asked is, should I use PubMed or Medline? Because PubMed has 27 million references, and Medline typically, last check, was around 24 million references. So why would I not use PubMed? Well, one of the advantages of using Medline over PubMed is that it has the added value of using the National Library of Medicine controlled vocabulary, those mesh headings, the medical subject headings, to index the citations. So that is one major advantage to using Medline over PubMed. CINAHL is, you're going to get some newspapers, patient information, as well as non-scholarly publications, but the cumulative index to nursing and allied health literature can oftentimes find research articles in nursing publications that may not populate on PubMed or Medline. There's other databases such as Embase, which is a large biomedical database that has an emphasis on drug research and pharmacology. It also has a good coverage of alternative therapies. There's the Cochrane Library, which is systematic reviews of the effects of healthcare interventions. So this also contains the Cochrane Central Register for Controlled Trials, Central, and the database of abstracts for reviews of effects, which is called DARE. There's HealthStar, which is Ovid, Biosis, which is the citation index that covers also agricultural sciences, botany, biotechnology, zoology, biology. So it's to your benefit to really get to know all of the databases available to you. One of my most favorite databases is a multidisciplinary database called Scopus. Scopus is a major multidisciplinary database for social sciences, life sciences, health sciences, physical sciences, and arts and humanities. So it oftentimes will cover research literature that's published in academic journals, open access journals, conference proceedings, trade publications, and even book series, as well as dissertations. It also covers 20 million quality web sources, which also has over 12.7 million patents. So again, there are a variety of databases available to you as a researcher, as a student of research, and I highly encourage you to explore these databases and for what they have to offer you. So next, let's look at some search tips. The first thing you want to do is divide your topic into concepts, and that's where we use this idea of the PICO question. That would be P is for patient or population or the problem, such as what kind of disease is involved or who's affected and what's the problem of interest to you. I is for intervention or indicator. What is being done? What effect is being introduced? C is for comparison. What is currently being done? O is for outcome. How are you measuring the effect or the impact of the intervention and the comparison group? T is for time or type of study. Time would be describing the duration of your data collection or the type of research study that you're looking for with your literature review. So again, going back to these search tips, we want to make sure that we're using the appropriate database, using the appropriate subject headings if they're available, using connectors appropriately, things like words like and or, and using limits to refine your search results. So next we're going to talk about subject searching. And the reason you should use subjects headings, specifically mesh headings, is to expedite the location of relevant articles in a massive research database. If a term has more than one meaning, using a keyword search is not going to capture the concept. So every article and piece of literature that's indexed in the database is going to be assigned a specific subject heading, which is different than a keyword. Subject headings work like a thesaurus by pulling on articles on a concept together. The result is that there's no need to worry about synonyms, plurals, or variations in spelling. I recommend that you visit the National Library of Medicine's website on subject headings to learn more specifically about mesh headings, which are the medical subject headings. So let's do a practice PICO exercise. Among new graduate registered nurses, how does participation in a nurse residency program affect retention at 2 and 5 years? So the first thing we're going to do is go to the library website and we're going to navigate to our database of choice. I want you to create a login if you have not yet done so. You'll see create account. This will allow you to save and auto search your topic of interest at a later date. And so we're going to select Ovid MEDline, the second one here, to get the most complete results. And notice I'm only selecting one, not multiples, as we don't want to get duplicates and we want to know exactly which database we're searching. So I want you to notice that I'm logged in as Mady Stovall at Oregon Health and Science University. You can see I've got one resource, which is my Ovid MEDline, the second database. And I'm typing into my keyword here, the first of our PICO question, the new graduate registered nurse. And notice I put nurse with an asterisk because that'll make it search all things that are nurses, nursing staff. So anything that has a stem that is NURS will explode with that term. So you'll see this is the results that we get. I want you to focus on what's the difference between exploding and focusing. And if I click on professional competence here, what you'll see is that this is the tree that we get under professional competence. You can see there's 23,300 odd hits that come with professional conference, and it's nested under anthropology, education, which is not a mesh term. If we then navigate back to our search, and again I use my new graduate registered nurse asterisk, it's going to give us those same results here, whereas you'll see again if I type on the subject heading, there's our 23,000. You can explode or focus within the tree. And so I want you to also notice that the scope note, if you click on the eye, the scope note gives you the information about what that mesh heading is and what the scope of that heading is. So any things that are going to be referenced under that particular subject heading will come up under the scope note. So again, that's a very valuable resource to make sure that you're covering all of the nomenclature that you and really are targeting. So if I explode professional competence, you'll see under my #1 search results, I get exploded professional competence. I get over 105,000 results. Now, if I do focus on my professional competence under, again, new graduate registered nurse, again, you'll see there's an asterisk in professional competence, which means I did a focused search. I get 11,000 hits on my results. Now I want to show you again going to new graduate registered nurse and then searching that term, what we're going to get if we explode all of these under the subject headings in the tree, and I continue, and then say I want to continue. I'm going to get somewhere close to almost 7 million hits, so not very specific. Say I only search as a keyword and not as a subject heading, which again, keywords are not going to give you as broad of a spectrum. You'll find it only gets 27 results. Now, as an amateur researcher, you might go, oh, but that's great, that's giving me exactly what I'm looking for. Actually, no, what it is it's too narrow, and you'll see why as we go and we add in some other portions of our PICO question. So now I'm going to type in and search for nurse residency program. And again, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to select all of these. So exploding all of these subject heading terms. And again, you'll see I get something on the order of, I think, like 3 million hits or 300,000 hits. Now say I want to see what job satisfaction is specifically. Job satisfaction is nested under industrial psychology, which is also nested under psychological theory, and psychiatry and psychology are the non-mesh terms. But specifically, job satisfaction gives me about 22,000 hits. And if I look at absenteeism and presenteeism, I'm getting another almost 9,000 hits if I add that. Now, if I select psychology, industrial, I'm going to get all of those terms that are under the mesh heading industrial psychology, anything that's under that minus sign until we get to the next plus sign. Or I can simply explode those terms, presenteeism, job satisfaction, and absenteeism, and then continue. So if you see here, again, exploding those terms under the search history nurse residency program, I get 30,000 hits. And again, you might say, geez, that's a lot. But we're getting a little bit better here. So we're going to say, okay, let's just focus on those terms, absenteeism, focus on job satisfaction, and focus on presenteeism. And you'll see, oh, well, I get about half what I did before for nurse residency program, so I'm getting 14,000 hits. And so now here's where we want to do the last portion of our PICO question, which is in parentheses, I say retention or turnover, and then I end parentheses, I put a connector and then I say in parentheses 2 years or 5 years. And so if I search that, again, you'll see that's highly specific, and I get about 2,500 hits with that search result. Now here's where the magic comes in, and this is why I tell you you don't want to be too specific when you only search, say, a keyword for new graduate registered nurse, because that would only limit us to 27 articles. So let's combine our search results, number 3, number 5, and number 8. That gives us 118 articles. Wow. Now let's combine number 3, number 6, and number 8. Again, using the connector and you see we get 72 articles. Now let's try number 3, number 7, and number 8. Again, combining it with the and. So again, now we're down to 36 articles. So you'll see the results. If you scroll down, you'll see again the display results. You can search those if you want, select those, display the results. So I've selected the one that has 118 results to display. Now one of the things I want to show you here is where you have, again, more power. You have 118 results in this. Now you see in this results section there's another navigator bar where you can search the information from those 118. The search terms used were here on the left-hand column. And you can say, I only want to restrict my results to, say, females or adults or articles published in the last 5 years. Maybe I only want to search journal articles, or maybe I want to search specifically those that are evaluation studies. And these would be, again, things that are classified as subject headings under evaluation studies. So again, it's not going to be all-inclusive, but if you only have to have 5 articles to do one of your papers on a new graduate, registered nurse, nurse residency program retention at 2 and 5 years, well, bada bing, you've got it right here, and you've limited it to evaluation studies. So again, you can navigate using these different selections of publications type. Do you want those that were only funded by research that was intramural, or that was non-government, or maybe just research, NIH research supported research studies? So again, there's a lot of power in this left-hand navigation toolbar that will help you further refine what results you got from your search of your mesh headings. So now what I want to do is we're just going to select all type. And what I want to do again is I want to select all of these. This is where the magic happens. Say I'm not sure what I want, but no, I want to make an evidence table. Or again, you can select a certain year. Maybe I'm going to say I want the last 7 years and not just the last 5 years. So I'll go 2010 to 2017. And again, you can see it's thinking, and it's going to populate from those 118 articles. These are all the ones that were published in the last 7 years. So now what you'll see is I've clicked on the All button here at the top navigator bar, this very light gray bar, and we're going to go to Export on the right-hand side. When you click on Export, you'll see this Export Citation List. We're going to select Excel Sheet and Complete Reference. Excel Sheet. Now you can choose other sources to export to, like a Word document, but there's an advantage to exporting to an Excel sheet, and I'll show you that trick right now. So as you'll see, in my computer anyway, Excel automatically opens once there's the export command is given. So all of those articles that we found that were between 2010 and 2017 are exported into this Excel sheet. They're already labeled in columns. And you'll find that there's 2 sheets here. One is the citation and one is the labels. Now I'm going to enlarge this so you can see the tops of the columns are labeled for abstract, abbreviated source, author. So all of those labels are at the top of each column on your citation spreadsheet. And you can delete ones that you don't want, but the advantage to exporting into an Excel sheet like this is that it allows you to go ahead and create your evidence table from what the library has, or this database has already built for you. So you see all of those headers there. The labels are in the gray at the top. These are the mesh headings that you'll see MH. You can toggle over into that other label sheet if you're wondering, okay, what does MH or PT stand for? So again, as we toggle over, here's the abstract, and you can widen that column if you want to read the entire abstract. Now, one of the advantages to exporting again into this spreadsheet is that it's quite laborious to have to read, say, 118 abstracts, right? So you want to use the smart technology available to you in Excel by creating search terms or smart searches within these abstracts. So say I'm going to go up and I want to do a conditional formatting. I want to create a new rule that searches these abstracts. And I want to say only format those abstracts that contain the specific text word research in the abstract itself, and say OK. And so now all of those that have the word research are going to be highlighted red. Now if you scroll out, again, you can scroll through there and say, oh gee, well, these are the only abstracts that have the word research in it. Now again, this is just a very oversimplified example. But we already have worked very hard to make sure that our search results are giving us new graduate registered nurse that are in nurse residency programs, in their retention or turnover in the last 2 to 5 years, because those are the terms that we searched. So again, these are some of the powerful tools that you can use in exporting a um, database search into an Excel file. I hope you enjoy and that you will share this video. This is my first video. Depending on the success, there may be more. Thanks so much. Good luck to you.